Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, yesterday, Donald Trump told the public that he knew who his running mate is going to be. He has his running mate in mind, and he's going to announce it very, very soon. I am speculating before the debate on Thursday that Donald Trump, in some rally of his, I don't know if there's an upcoming rally, um, but Donald Trump's going to come up and he's going to release his running mate. And I believe, I don't know, it might be at our rally. It might be, I could see it definitely being at a rally because that's where reactions are going to be. But yes, there's also, um, there is also a claimant that on June 13th, 2024, Trump indicated that Youngkin would be on his short list. And I would be honest, a Trump Youngkin ticket would be very strong. And not just that, but it would probably flip Virginia for sure. Virginia is already polling a close race right now. For sure, then, Trump will probably flip Virginia in November, because we take a look at Glenn Youngkin. He is the perfect guy. He knows how to combine suburban Republicans and MAGA Republicans. He knows how to unite them on one campaign. So, and besides, Glenn Youngkin, he is not specifically running for re-election next year because Virginia has one term limit, one term only. And I was kind of personally hoping that Youngkin run for the Senate against Tim Kaine, but it is what it is. Youngkin got in. It looks like he's standing down. I think personally he feels like he's not ready for the Senate yet, but who knows? He might. Maybe the vice president is going to be a little too much for him, but we'll see. We're going to see. But we got our three finalists, and we originally went to four. Byron Donalds pretty much has been outed out. Tim Scott, but we got our three finalists, and they're both men. Okay, they're both men, and they both come from red states, and that's what I'm not really a fan of. They're coming from red states. We want someone to come from a swing state, a state that Trump is hopefully going to pick up, but not so sure. So that's what I'm really hoping. There's Doug Burgum, who's from the state of North Dakota, a solid red state, not really populous at all. So I don't know if Doug Burgum would be that impactful in the race. And Doug Burgum, in my opinion, is kind of boring. I mean, very boring. He kind of reminds me of the average Minnesota state legislator. And I like Doug Burgum. He is absolutely a great guy. I admire. I don't say admire him. I'm just not a fan of his personality. He's just very boring. He doesn't really know how to energize a crowd. He didn't in the first debate with the Republicans. Kind of put me to sleep. I'm like, okay, I want to hear Tim Scott speak, because really, I'd rather hear Scott speak than Burgum. But I'm not really too keen with Tim Scott either. But yes, if Burgum is the nominee, Burgum's the nominee, and we're not going to revolt against it. Marco Rubio, I would definitely choose him over Burgum. Burgum would probably be in last place if I had to choose the running mate. Probably not Burgum, but Trump likes Burgum, then he'll go with Burgum. But the thing is, I'm concerned that Burgum would be a backstabber, because he definitely, we have to recognize that Doug Burgum ran against Donald Trump in the election. I can definitely see Doug Burgum pulling a chicken move and getting intimidated over the Democrats and actually bailing out and jumping ship like Mike Pence. I can definitely see that. And Doug Burgum hasn't really made himself known across the country. Kristi Noem's more popular, but Kristi Noem's popular in a bad way. More very, very cringe, but I like her. But do I want her to be the running mate? No, absolutely not. I think we'd lose, for sure. But yes, Doug Burgum, yeah. You could be like, it's like he's the governor of a red state. That's just probably his background. Sort of like Mike Pence at the time, governor of a red state. No specific accomplishment. Marco Rubio, though, he has been a face, very recognizable compared to these three. He is the more recognizable face. He's been in the news since 2016, or even before 2016, because he ran, let's see, when did he run in the Senate? He did run 2010 United States Florida election. That's probably where he ran. Yes, Marco Rubio, he was elected in 2010. So, and yeah, it looks like he was very well respected thanks to split ticketing by the left. That resulted to Orlando going red. But yes, he gets reelected in 2016, and he ran for president in 2016. And you'd think, oh, Marco Rubio spent lots of dollars in just to lose. You'd think, oh, he's not going to run for re-election. Psych! He runs for re-election. He is successfully re-elected against Patrick Murphy. He of course, I don't think he underperformed. He performed pretty well because let's keep in mind, it would be a close race if Charlie Crist wasn't involved in just Kendrick Meek, who was the Democratic nominee, just faced off Rubio. And maybe some independents would branch off to vote for Rubio, but a lot of Democrats went for Charlie Crist, the former Republican governor, who was a full-blown liberal and did a lot of liberal stuff. And yeah, and didn't really like how Republicans were treating the Obamacare thing, so he ended up leaving the Republican Party. So, interestingly enough, just eliminate Charlie Crist or have Charlie Crist be the Democratic nominee, you would probably see Rubio barely win. But yeah, how different this race would be. Interesting. But yes, you'll see Rubio was pretty good year for Rubio despite blowing a presidential campaign, but in my opinion. But yes, Rubio, he is a familiar face. Pretty good face. Let's see. I want to see respect-wise. 2016. Because Rubio kind of represents the establishment. He's not a full-blown MAGA Republican. The liberals will say he is, but this guy, 11.3% in 2016. He won the state of Minnesota. I don't know if we voted for him. I couldn't vote at the time. I was too young, but he ended up he won Minnesota, but yeah, otherwise he did pick up a lot of counties across the state. More counties than Nikki Haley could have won. Most counties he won was in Minnesota. Tied with a little bit, and second place would be Virginia, but yes. And he lost. He dropped out after Trump destroyed him in his own state. So that became pretty clear. So yes. Anyways, interesting results. But yes, Marco Rubio I would definitely support him. The only problem is, he's from Florida. Same thing. But here's the thing. It's not really where he's from. It's where he's from community-wise. The theory is Marco Rubio would get more of the Latino and Hispanic voters out and voting. And Ron DeSantis did that in 2022. Well, guess what? Marco Rubio, he kind of did that. He underperformed a little bit, but in 2022, though, you'll see he flipped Osceola, which is actually more liberal than Miami-Dade County, having a huge majority of Hispanics. And this county has been a long time Democrat stronghold. He ended up flipping this county, along with winning 55% in Miami-Dade County. Thus said, thanks to the Hispanic vote. But then again, that is a huge recommendation. And I told you all about JD Vance. JD Vance, he's good. I like him. He's definitely representing the MAGA Republican. And I would say, for sure, I would support him, but he's just 2 years into politics. He's 39. That is young, and he's just becoming a senator. I'm sure Donald Trump is taking that into consideration. This guy is young, and this guy is 2 years into his political career. Is he really ready for the vice presidency? Is he really ready to run in a major election? The election of our future. This guy who served in politics for 2 years. I would support him, but I think it's the likelihood is more smaller. But yes, definitely. Pretty good short list. So, what would you think my prediction would be? Now, not my bias. What's my bias? What would I choose to be the running mate? I would say Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, because he's been there the longest out of all of them all. We know he's a strong election player. He knows how to run in elections. He knows how to get people out voting. He appeals to a certain community. It's a community that is going more harder, more aggressive to the right in the last 2 years. And I think Marco Rubio would actually be the type of guy to actually get them actually on the train instead of half one shoe on the train and one on the one on the platform. But you get what I'm saying. But yes, I would choose Marco Rubio. Who do you think realistically it's going to be? Well, I would say Doug Burgum. Doug Burgum. And here is why. The reason why Doug Burgum has a 60% chance of becoming the nominee and is being speculated by a lot of conservative and moderate and even liberal analyzers is because, once again, like I said, he's been in politics for a while. Since 2016, he's represented the state of North Dakota for 8 years, reelected in 2020. And the idea is he's from the Midwest. And being from the Midwest would kind of help voters from more Midwestern states like Minnesotans, Wisconsinites, and Michiganders go for. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Anyway, it would help with Minnesotans, Wisconsinites, and Michiganders go and vote for Trump because he has a Midwestern guy in there. I am kind of critical to that. I'm critical. And that is because, okay, Wisconsin and Michigan are kind of far away from North Dakota, to be honest. Sure, technically, regionally, yeah. Sure, North Dakota is in the same area as the Midwest. Absolutely. But when it actually comes to, like, I don't know. Like, and then again, North Dakota, Doug Burgum, yeah, he puts most people to sleep. It's true. Maybe it's not what most of you guys think, but in my opinion, he puts me to sleep. And I'm kind of afraid to test that out with. We saw how it went on the stage. But yes, I'm definitely thinking Trump's going to pick Burgum. And reason why. 2016, he picked Pence. And why did he pick Pence? Because he wanted to appeal with the evangelical vote. Because Trump was formerly a liberal Democrat. Well, I would say liberal, but definitely moderate. He was definitely more patriotic, but supported abortion and women's rights and racial justice. But when he rejoins the Republican Party, he's now a racist. He's now a narcissist. He's now a fascist. It's interesting how that works. Identity politics. But yeah, so Trump kind of needed to get that trust back from conservatives. And by doing that, he kind of chose Mike Pence, who represented the Christian right and the evangelical side of the Republican Party. Did it work? Yeah, it won him the election, but then again, Pence and Trump, very different people. And I can guarantee you, Burgum and Trump are very different people. Very different. And I would definitely merge Burgum to Pence. Very comparable, same personality. And I can guarantee you, Burgum's going to do some backstabbing and kind of get on Trump's nerves. But we'll see. Will he win us the election? I don't know. If Trump wins, it's definitely not going to be because of Doug Burgum. That's for sure. Doug Burgum's just going to fill in the slot and say, we got a running mate. That's it. But other than that, I'm concerned, will Doug Burgum will he take on Kamala Harris? Will he be enough to take out Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris has a poor reputation. So people are like, everyone can take on Kamala Harris. Well, Kamala Harris arguably did pretty well in 2020 against Mike Pence because, once again, the narrative was on her side. Well, hopefully we have the narrative on Burgum, but we need to create the narrative, and we need to rely on Doug Burgum to put on good talking points and create a narrative and blow fire at Kamala. So, yes, I'm like, can Burgum do that? I'm not so sure. Rubio, we just saw in a interview of Marco Rubio defending Trump and scorching and schooling MSN or BSDNC on how the legal system works versus how the legal system is faltering in favor to just convict Donald Trump. He is a very, very smart man. And I'm like, yes, this guy can take out Kamala in a debate. Absolutely. So I'm honestly going with Marco. I honestly think, you know what? It's not just because of the Hispanic flip. It's because of the talking points he uses. He's well respected, has a great reputation. He says some things here and there that really confuse conservatives, but then again, he's getting a good reputation again, especially after his re-election. Getting more good respect. So, yes. Trump also reported that his vice presidential running mate will most likely be at the debate on June 27th. Well, is the camera going to actually zoom in on that person? And is he actually going to tell us before that debate? I don't know. I think he would. Trump did say that there would be a vice presidential debate. Kamala Harris agreed to a debate, to whatever Trump's running mate's going to be. But yeah, I am looking forward to that. But yes, we got Doug Burgum, who honestly 60%, 70% sure and pretty confident that unfortunately it's probably going to be him. Because it's the pattern. The pattern is following the same way as it is 2016. The question is, Trump doesn't need to choose an evangelical. Because, breaking news, evangelicals were on the Trump train way back since 2016. We don't need to choose an evangelical. We need to choose a strategist. That's what we need. And Marco Rubio's the guy. JD Vance has a good narrative. He has a great story. A Trump hater who actually woke up and he could destroy Kamala Harris on the debate stage and basically expose how this is just derangement syndrome. What the media is doing, how the media can easily influence you and make you do stupid stuff that normal humans wouldn't do. Like scrolling down someone's Facebook page or just becoming a Trump hater in general, and all you post about is what Trump said and what Trump did and what Trump tweeted. And that's covering your whole entire profile. That describes you as a person. And that is the credibility of MSNBC doing their magic and their poison on the American people. I think that would be perfect. But you know what? I guess we don't really have a say. And neither do we. This is Donald Trump's decision. And even though I disagree, Doug Burgum's not the good decision. He is not from a swing state, and the theory that he's from the Midwest, he's going to flip Minnesota, Wisconsin. That's no. It doesn't work like that because the Midwest isn't unified, unlike the South. That's the reason why Jimmy Carter flipped the South in 1976 was the South was unified. They viewed themselves as diverse and different, and as compared to the North, the West, and the East. They compared themselves different compared to culture. Midwest geography, we're similar, but politically, we are pretty different. Yeah, and being a Minnesotan who's from the Midwest, I can tell you, Minnesotans, if you had to go up to a Minnesotan and you would say, which state would be Minnesota's most best friend? It would be North Dakota. But does that mean we're going to go out and vote for Doug Burgum? No. It's not because Doug Burgum's boring. It's just the context. Maybe if he was running for president, he would be flipping more Minnesotans. I would have a hard time seeing that. Seeing how Scott Jensen performed. And Jensen and Burgum have the exact same campaign style, the exact same personality. I have a hard time seeing that. But you know what? I think it would be a little different. Vice president, though, it wouldn't work. And even if Trump does flip Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, it's not going to be because of Burgum. It's going to be because of the records we talked about yesterday. The diverse voters and the Rust Belt, along with, in general, auto workers. So very interesting stuff, important stuff. So what's the bottom line? What's our prediction? Well, guys, we're officially reporting and declaring that Doug Burgum is projected to be Donald Trump's running mate. This is not official, of course. This is our official prediction. And probably isn't going to change. But yes. And if we are right, we'll probably give ourselves a pat in the back. We did an accurate prediction. We were spot on. But then again, we're not going to be as happy. I mean, I don't mean to shame any of the Burgum lovers. And maybe you are a Burgum lover. I totally respect your opinion on Burgum. And probably the reason why Trump's going with Burgum is because Burgum made it clear that he opposed a federal abortion ban during the first debate. He made that clear nationwide. He opposed a federal abortion ban. And he kind of aligns with Trump's view on abortion, with the states getting to choose if abortion should be legal or illegal. And if your state is illegal, oh well, drive to the other state and get your abortion. Jeez, like MSNBC cries for these people in Fargo, North Dakota, that can't get their abortions because North Dakota banned abortion. Boo-hoo. Guess what? The next city over is a Minnesota city called Moorhead. And I can guarantee you that big urban Minnesota city has a Planned Parenthood. Drive over there 5 minutes, 10 minutes down the road and get it. Whatever. Go ahead. Do it. Jeez. It's not like we have to pay to enter a new state. Come on. Like, this is what the Democrats do. They utilize everything, even issues that don't matter, like abortion. Like, come on. The Dobbs v. Jackson, which coincidentally, we're talking about it a day before the 3rd anniversary of the Dobbs v. Jackson decision, was a compromise. A compromise which I think Republicans and conservatives were a little too soft on. But apparently, it doesn't really matter. Democrats, if they don't get their way on anything, even if it's a compromise, they'll throw a huge tantrum. They will fearmonger. They will say that babies are going to be thrown in garbage cans, and they already are. Don't even convince me that they aren't. Women are going to be bleeding to death. They'll become fearmongering, and we're 2 years in. Has that ever happened yet? No, it hasn't. They said that this would happen immediately. Has it happened? No. And that's why a lot of Americans are realizing that the abortion panic was fake. And that's why the abortion concern dribbled all the way down. That's why Georgia, which I guarantee you, a state which if you give them a ballot measure on would you rather keep abortion or not, they would probably approve it. They would probably say yes. But instead, they run a strong anti-abortion Supreme Court justice, and he handily defeats I wouldn't say unpopular, but this weak sort of candidate who I believe he's a judge, but ran for Secretary of State a couple years ago. But then he loses to this pro-abortion where he claims the Georgia Constitution states that abortion is legal. And he loses in a landslide. Yeah, people are fed up with issues that they clearly did not ask to be handled. So, what are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts on Burgum becoming the potential nominee? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.